In this week's video, I'm going to be making a tutorial for the fingerless gloves that I posted a couple weeks ago. I got quite a few comments asking me to make one, so here it is. I am going to be doing a voiceover for this, but I'm also going to write the instructions on the top of the screen, so that way if you don't want to listen to my voice or if you just want to like skip through the video, if you're a more advanced crocheter, then you can. So for this tutorial, I am using the Big Twist Value yarn. For this project, I'm using two different colors. This first color here is called Cream. The second color I'm using is called Wine, of the same brand of yarn. To start us off, we are using the wine color first. I'm going to start by making a magic ring. I do this a little bit differently, but there's so many tutorials out there to show you how to do it. Then I'm going to chain 3. This is going to count as our first double crochet. After this, you're going to create 2 more double crochets into the center of this ring. Chain 1 and 3 more double crochets. Then you'll create 3 more double crochets inside of that magic ring. Chain 1. And finally, you're going to create 3 more double crochets in that center ring. And chain 1. You're going to pull the magic circle closed, and then you will slip stitch into that third chain right where we started. Then I chained 1, pulled tight, and cut off the yarn. Now we are going to start with our second color. I went ahead and attached the yarn to my hook. In the corner space, you're going to chain 3. This is going to count as our first double crochet in this chain space. You'll make a double crochet, another double crochet, a chain 1, and then 3 more double crochets, all in that same chain 1 space from the previous round. Then you are not going to chain 1 in between the side pieces. You're just going to go ahead into that next chain 1 space and put 3 double crochets, a chain 1, and then 3 more double crochets, then you're going to go into the next chain 1 space and create 3 double crochets, a chain 1, and 3 more double crochets. As you can probably tell, these fingerless gloves, the main body portion of the glove is made with granny squares. So if you know how to make a granny square, then you can go ahead and skip till this time period here. I'll put it on the screen. You will need 2 granny squares per glove, and these granny squares have 4 rows of granny stitch. Once you're on that final few double crochets here, you're going to slip stitch into that 3rd chain from the beginning, chain 3. Then you can fasten off this color and start back again with our wine color. So now with this wine color again, we are going to attach into one of the spaces in between the corner spaces. You're going to chain 3, that counts as 1 double crochet. Then you're going to make another double crochet and another double crochet. That is 3 double crochets. Then into that chain 1 space, the corner space, you're going to make another 3 double crochets, a chain 1, and then 3 more double crochets. You're going to repeat those steps all the way around the square, and I will meet you back at the end. Now that you're at your final corner space, you did your first 3 double crochets. You're going to do your chain 1 and then 3 more double crochets, all in that same chain 1 corner space. Then you're going to slip stitch into that 3rd chain of the beginning chain 3 that we made at the beginning of this round. Then you're going to chain 1, pull your yarn, and cut it. This will fasten off that row. This is your 3rd round, so we have 1 more left. You're going to go back to your cream color. You're going to attach your yarn to one of the spaces next to the corner space. You're going to chain 3. This counts as your first double crochet. Then you're going to create 2 more double crochets in that space. Then in the next open space, you're going to create 3 double crochets. Then in that chain 1 corner space, you're going to create 3 double crochet. Chain 1, and then 3 more double crochet. You're going to repeat these steps all the way around your granny square. This is a classic granny square shape. I know it's a little difficult to see in this video, so if you're struggling to see what I'm doing, you can look up any granny square tutorial and make these gloves. Again, this glove does use 4 rounds of the granny stitch. So I will keep going with this stitch all the way around, and I will meet you at the end. When you're at the end, you are going to slip stitch into that 3rd chain of the beginning chain 3 that we created. And then fasten off your yarn, and this will be the last row of the granny square. Again, for these fingerless gloves, you'll need 2 of these squares per glove, so 4 total for 2 gloves. So go ahead and repeat this process of making the granny square and meet me back when you have 2 of these squares. So now that we have 2 of these granny squares, we are going to attach them together. You are going to flip them, sandwich them together, right sides facing each other. And then you are going to pick your color that you want your ribbing to be. For me, this meant it was going to be the wine color. You're going to pick any side. You're going to slip stitch these together using the back loop of the chains only. You can see me doing that there. It's the back loop of the chains. You're going to fasten your yarn on any side you choose. Just make sure it is using the slip stitch method. So this means I'm going to pull my yarn through and chain 1, back loops only, pull your yarn through all the loops, back loop only, pull your yarn through all 3 loops. You're going to do this all along this one side here. You're going to stop when you reach that chain 1 corner space. Once you reach the corner space, you're going to insert your hook into both corner spaces and create a single crochet. Then from here on out, you're going to create single crochets into every single stitch across this square. You're not connecting them, just this first square here. I apologize, it's a little blurry, but it will fix itself. One single crochet into every single stitch across. And again, when you reach the corner space, you're going to insert your hook into each corner, the first granny square and the back granny square. You will single crochet those spaces together. Now you're onto the back side of your glove and you're going to continue to make one single crochet into each stitch across. Once you reach the end, you are going to slip stitch into that corner single crochet that we created. This connects your gloves at the top, and now we will start the ribbing. We are going to chain 5, and now we are going to go into the back hump of the chain and create single crochets. You'll skip the first chain on your hook, and you will single crochet into that back hump down the chain 4 times. Then you're going to slip stitch into the next 2 single crochets from the previous row. You're going to flip your work, and then from here on out you will be doing a single crochet into the back loop only. This will create that ribbed look. Again, if you're struggling with seeing this video, I understand it's a little hard to see. There is a ton of videos out there. What you will need to search for is a ribbing using single crochet back loop only, and that is what I'm doing. The first mistake I had made was not slip stitching into 2 single crochet spaces from the beginning single crochet rows along the top of the glove. If you just do 1, then you will be making your ribbing way too big. So here I only slip stitched once, but then you would want to go into the next chain and slip stitch again. When you have run out of places to slip stitch into, you're going to do your final single crochet back loop only ribbing. You're going to turn your work, and then you will be closing your ribbing together. So I do that just by slip stitching. You'll insert your hook into both of the single crochets and slip stitch, and then the next chain and slip stitch, and the next chain, slip stitch, and your final and fourth one. As you can see, I have quite tight tension, so it's a little hard for me to get my hook in there, but you've got this. Then you're going to chain 1, pull your yarn, and fasten off. That's the top of your first glove finished. For the next part, we're going to be seaming up the second side. So you're going to insert your hook into the back loops only, just like we did on the other side. I am again using my wine colored yarn to attach these. You are going to do the same thing, so slip stitch your sides together. However, this time we are going to leave space for our thumb. So there I slip stitched into 3 of each side. Then on one side I did a single crochet, a second one, a third one, and a fourth one. On this 5th double crochet, we are going to again use the back loop only. Same thing to the other side, the back loop only of the other side of the glove, and slip stitch the rest of the way down. This is going to leave an opening for our thumb, and this will be the final piece that we put together. So once you reach that corner space again, you're going to do the same thing as the other side. Insert your hook into that chain 1 space on both sides, on both granny squares, and create a single crochet. Then on one side of the granny squares, you will single crochet all the way across. Once you reach another corner space, you're going to do the same thing as you did previously. Insert your hook into both chain 1 corner spaces. You can see it a little better here, and create a single crochet into both of them. That's joining each side together. And then along the next side of this back granny square, you will be single crocheting all the way across. Once you're at the end, you're going to slip stitch into that first single crochet we made. Now we are going to be making the bottom ribbing. This is the part that goes on your wrist. You will be chaining 9. You will be skipping the first chain on your hook and then single crocheting in the back bump of the chain all the way down. This will create 8 single crochets. Again, once you reach the bottom of this chain, you're going to slip stitch in the next stitch at the bottom, and then another slip stitch. Then you'll turn your chain, and then you'll be doing single crochets in the back loop only. This is what makes it look ribbed. You can see it a little better here. Make sure you have 8 of them. That's what I was doing there. 1 single crochet all the way down. Once you reach the end, you will flip your work and again single crochet in the back loop only all the way down this ribbing we're making. And once you reach the bottom, you're going to slip stitch into the next stitch, and then another slip stitch into the next stitch. Flip your work and continue single crocheting in the back loop only. Once you have done the ribbing all the way around, you are again going to slip stitch into the last space you can, last 2 spaces you can. You're going to flip your work, and then you're going to slip stitch these sides together. There should be 8 spaces on each side. This will close up the bottom ribbing, and we are almost finished with your first glove. Once you're finished slip stitching, you'll chain 1, pull your yarn, and cut it to fasten off the bottom ribbing. Now we are going to be starting the thumb portion. We are going to go ahead and flip our glove inside out, right side out, I mean. This is so that way the tail of your yarn when you're creating the thumb portion is on the inside and not on the outside. You may have to pull your stitches out a little bit, I did, but once you start crocheting around, they will lay flatter. I went ahead and attached my yarn and my hook into that double crochet space that is on the granny square. I am going to chain one, and then in that same space, I'm going to do one single crochet in the next space, another in the next, and one in the final space. So there's 4 single crochets to match the 4 that we did on the other side. So now I'm going to pull those stitches up and slip stitch into the single crochet that we created when seaming up the glove. Again, they're a little tucked in there, but they will pop out. Now I'm going to single crochet into each of those 4 stitches. And then the next 4, there's a little space there, but this is us closing it up. So basically think of it as we're doing 2 rounds of single crochet for the thumb, but we had started the first round when we were seaming up the glove. Once you're at the end, you're going to slip stitch the sides together, chain 1, pull your yarn, and cut it to secure. Now you are almost done with your gloves. Now that you have finished your first glove, you are going to repeat all of these steps to create your second glove. The left and rights don't matter because they are exactly the same on each side. And go ahead and weave in your ends as well in between the process. That is what I'm doing here. You can go ahead and try on this first glove as well to make sure it all fits well. If you need more coverage on your fingers, you can just add more single crochets along the top. Now, if you follow these steps, you should have 2 gloves. Again, they are identical on both sides, so left and right don't really matter. Here I am showing you the details of my glove. I just want to say thank you for bearing with me through my first crochet tutorial. I don't have the best setup, as I'm going to say at the end of this video, so I apologize for the parts that were blurry or out of focus or just not in the frame. Again, I am going to type the instructions on the screen and I will work on a written pattern. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, please leave them below and I will answer them as quickly as possible. I just want to say thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I realized I don't have the best setup for tutorials right now, but as I've mentioned in previous videos, I'm moving soon. I'm hoping that I get a better setup so that way whenever I make a tutorial for the cardigan that I posted last week, it'll be a lot better and a lot nicer. I would love to hear some suggestions in the comments of like different kinds of camera tripods that are good for that downward angle, because I don't have a good tripod anyway, so I've been meaning to get one, but if you have a suggestion, I would love to hear it. These gloves are really fun and easy to make. They seriously take me like probably less than 2 hours for both of them. These are a great gift, and I feel like these would do really well at a craft market as well. So if you make them, please post a picture and tag me in the comments. I'll leave my Instagram handle right here where you can tag me. I also don't have a written pattern yet, but I totally can make one. I just don't have a place or a platform to sell a written pattern yet, and so I need to figure that out. But of course, if you have any questions or you're confused about a step of the process, just leave a comment and I'll try to respond as quickly as possible. Again, thank you so much for watching this video. Leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more crochet content from me. See you next week.